Imagine saving for ages to purchase your dream car, and as you finally got it, this happens. In this video, I'm helping out one of my subscribers and we're trying to get his track BMW M235i back on the road. It's got tons of damage, the airbags have gone off, the front end has been completely written off.
Oh man. Why is it stuck though? Nah, it's stuck.
It's gonna be a tricky one, boys.
Would it help if I get it to start? No? Is that LSD? I can see.
So even at the point of delivery, the car is given tons of issues. It was proven difficult to get it off the recovery truck for various reasons. The suspension is broken, the car is lowered, and we've got no steering.
Those alloys don't stuck on the caliper.
After a lot of persuasion, we have finally got the car rolling off the recovery truck.
Happy days, oi! Well done, brother. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Nice one, nice one, nice one.
So this is a heavily modded, track-ready BMW M235i, and just like that, everything changed. It was a wet, rainy night, the rear end lost traction, and the car ended up in a ditch, and this is the result. Both the drivers and the dash airbags have deployed, which means they need to be replaced. The front crash bar and front slam panel have both been pushed back, which is causing lots of damage to the face of the engine, which I'm a little bit worried about. On the rear of the car, there's no damage, but just take a look at the front end. It is a mess.
So guys, as you can see, the car is an absolute mess. So we're not wasting any time. Let me tell you the plan.
So I'll be starting with the front end. The slam panel has been pushed back to the face of the engine. I want to see what is hiding behind all of this damage. The bonnet is damaged beyond repair, so I'll be removing that. Both adaptive headlights are too badly damaged, so they need to be replaced also. I also want to have a look at the radiators. This is an uprated intercooler costing 600 quid. So if it's salvageable, then happy days. I then need to swap the passenger wing because that's too badly damaged. But first, I need to get this car started so I can reverse it into the garage. Now, on these BMWs, once the airbags have gone off, this is the power fuse that cuts all the power to the car in the event of a crash, which in turn will kill the engine. So I'm going to temporarily bridge it and try to start the car up. And that didn't go to plan because as soon as I cranked the engine, tons of oil was spilling out everywhere. So we have got major problems.
The good news is the engine starts. The bad news is there's a ton of oil that's just leaked out, and I'm a little bit, well, I'm actually very worried about that. So I wanted to get the car on the lift, but it just means we've got to tear it apart right here. And if you're OG on the channel, that's no big job here at Salvage Nation because we've been doing it for ages. So let me grab some tools, go ahead, strip this down, and I want to look at the oil cooler lines, oil cooler, and try to figure out where all that oil is coming from.
So the teardown process of any build is always the most fun part, yet terrifying. You just never know what you're gonna find.
Like, what is this? 1, 2, 3. Let's try to bend this up. Try to get this out. Damn, son. Wait until you see that chassis leg. Woo. Boys, it's not looking good. It is not looking good. Look, it's all falling apart, so you need that hose. That's the coolant return line. AC rad is gone, water rad is gone, intercooler. This is an uprated intercooler, 600 quid he said he paid for it. Gone. Boy. Right, let's get this out.
So with those damaged parts removed, you can really see the extent of the damage here. I was not expecting the chassis leg to be this badly damaged, and as soon as I saw that, I knew that this build was going to be delayed. I'm continuing by removing the damaged radiators. I'm really worried about the face of the engine now that I can see the extent of this damage.
After the first little strip down, it's a lot worse than I expected. There's tons of damage. The oil cooler is gone. Intercooler pipe is busted, completely flattened, damaged. This chassis leg, from above I could see it was bent, but I didn't realize it was this badly bent, so that's gonna be a headache. This connector pipe, there it is. This is the gearbox oil cooler pipe that connects to the oil cooler, and as you can see, it's completely snapped off right where it connects to the oil cooler, so we need a new oil cooler as well. So there's tons of parts that's needed for the front end of this car, and I've even just noticed something else. Here on the wheel, I need one of the control arms has snapped out the socket on the ball joint, so I need a new control arm there to get the car rolling. But for now, it's time to make a parts list, order some parts, and once they're here, we'll continue.
So we're still at the beginning of this rebuild process, but have a look at this car. It's an absolute mess. Once I made a parts list, we made some orders and tons of deliveries started to fly in. And speaking of deliveries, Launch have just sent me out their brand new compact diagnostic scanner, and I'll be using this to code the new headlights, find out exactly what's going on behind the scenes with all the electronics on this car, and I'll be getting into that later on. But first, I need to find the oil leak, and here it is. So let's do something about that. So with a new gearbox oil cooler fitted, that's our oil leak sorted. The next task at hand is getting the car rolling, and for that, I need to sort out the suspension. Here's that damaged control arm that I mentioned, and I've gone out and I've got a like for like part. All I need to do is swap it out, and the car should be rolling. So now it's time for the car to move under its own power for the first time, but before doing so, I like to cut out the airbags. I just don't like it in my face. Just get it out of the way.
Alrighty guys, let's go. So after all of that, we technically should have drive. I know we've got steering again. It's back on all fours, but it keeps doing that. Apparently it had that issue before it came to me. If anyone knows what it is, let me know. As soon as you try to drive it for the first time, it just cuts. And then the second time, yeah, every time. Okay, we've got movement. And that's all we wanted. So at least we're mobile again, boys. And that's the first and easy step completed. Normal leaking from the gearbox oil cooler, and this thing sounds crazy. Boys, don't forget about the caddy build. I've had a few issues with this car or van. Basically, I need a bit of help with the four-wheel drive system. I can't do anything, I'm stuck. The car's not coming out of second gear because I need to put the ABS sensors. I can't put all 4 ABS sensors in. If you remember, on this build, the front suspension is from a Golf R. Everything is basically from a Golf R, including the engine loom, whereas the rear carrier's suspension is still the old caddy, so they're not taking the ABS sensors. The gearbox doesn't know how fast the car's going, so it's not coming out, it's going into limp mode all the time. And that is where I've had a massive sticking point. I've had a few people that were meant to be helping me with the all-wheel drive system, or there's a lot of fab work that I need to do, and I don't want to mess it up. I can have a go myself, but I don't want to mess it up. So that's the update with the caddy build. I will be continuing this build very shortly. I'm waiting for Dave from ATP Tuning to give me a hand. He said he'll come down and give me a hand. There's a few bits that I need to do first, and then we'll help him back onto this because I want this thing up and running. It sounds amazing. This is going to be the fastest caddy on the south coast. But stay tuned. Okay guys, so now we've got the car driving. A little bit of work, but we got there in the end. I can go ahead and start the jigging procedure. We're getting a bit jiggy with that chassis leg. That chassis leg, do you think we can do it? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, hopefully this car is gonna look better than it did before the accident.
So with the car finally in the garage and on the lift, I can go ahead and remove the damaged wing, and I'm removing the AC compressor so I can gain access to the damaged chassis leg and some other broken components. This M235i is running the N55 engine, and the engine bay is very cramped. With that out of the way, I'll be using my mobile pulling tower to pull the chassis, try to get it as straight as possible. This thing is a game changer. Using compressed air, it creates a vacuum to the floor, and once it's stuck to the floor, it can deliver a ton of pulling power. After the first set of pulls, I'm using a tram gauge to check the measurements. If you remember my BMW M2 build, I paid for the data sheet on the F20, F22, F23, etc, etc. So all the dimensions are the same. I know what they're meant to be, and I'm just double checking. Once I got the chassis leg to a point where I was happy with it, I'm just reinforcing it to make it even stronger than it was before, and then I'll be applying some rust treatment and covering it in stone chip. Once the car goes in for paint, all of this will be painted the same color as the car. So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Next, I'm swapping out the charge cooler pipe and some coolant pipes that I found that were damaged. So now we have a new charge pipe, new seals. I'm making sure that everything is lubricated. This car pushes a lot of boost, and we don't need any boost leaks, because if you've got a boost leak, that means that we are losing power, and we definitely do not want that.
Alright, so boys, so it's the next day and she's starting to look like a car again. I spent all day yesterday. We swapped out the broken intercooler for this uprated one. It's from VRSF, if anyone's wondering. I went ahead and I fitted all new coolant pipes. Have a look up here. I need to get this off actually. Get that gone. If you remember the alloys that was on the car before, the customer believed that we just needed some tires. When he took the alloys to get the tires changed, he realized that one of the alloys was completely cracked, so he's bought a brand new set, which I think looks really nice, but let me know what you think. I went ahead and got the oil cooler fitted to the correct location. We fitted a new charge pipe because the old one was crushed. This is an alley charge pipe, uprated as well. I believe this car is on a stage 2 map, so upgraded pipes. And as you can see, the complete rad pack has been fitted as well. So unless there's a damaged pipe that I've missed, we should be able to add some coolant to the system and make sure that it's all plumbed in correctly. But before I add coolant, I'm gonna add water just to make sure if there is a leak, I'm not gonna be wasting coolant. I need to fit the slam panel, and I just received some panels back from the paint shop. We've got a replacement wing for the passenger side, and we've got an M2 style front bumper that's gonna just transform the look on this car. So we're at the final push. Let's get this car looking like a car, get it outside.
So now we are at the business end of this build, and what's a powerful car without powerful cooling? And that's what we're sorting out. As you can see, the radiator fan is working, and now it's time for the system to get up to pressure, get all the air out of the system, and I'm gonna check for some leaks. Immediately I saw a massive leak and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? But as you can see, I forgot to tighten up the release valve in the coolant tank. So once I tightened that up, that was that leak sorted. Next up, I'm fitting the front slam panel as a complete assembly, and I need to sort out the headlights. The headlights on this car are being replaced, so I'm going to use my diagnostic tool to code the modules to the new headlights. just when I was thinking everything's plain sailing, this happened.
Ah, boys. It was just going too well, isn't it? It was just going too well. Everything was going too smoothly. So this was a brand new headlight that the customer bought. The passenger side is a new headlight, but it was used, and that has gone on no problems. When I was swapping over the modules, I realized that there's a particular module right at the bottom. This light has only got 2 connector plugs, and the module that came out of his original headlight has got 3. I don't know what the difference is, but they're both adaptive headlights for the same car. And I thought it would still work. I just thought the adaptive section of the light wouldn't work, but yeah. Hold on. This is a brand new headlight. It had no modules. I'm pretty sure. Come on, leave me alone. I'm pretty sure it's missing the bulb. Let's see. Oh my God. I never checked. No. No bulb in there. Oh my God, I'm gonna feel so silly if this works. I can hear it and I can see it. I am silly. I feel silly. There you go. That's better.
So now we know there's no leaks. We've got working headlights. I've fitted the front slam panel, the radiators are all in there, and my painter done an amazing job on this wing.
Yes, boys and girls, I got told off for just saying boys. So, ladies and gentlemen, she's starting to look like a car again, but it's missing something, right? I want to show you the bonnet because the customer opted for a carbon fiber bonnet. It's in the next room. We're going to get it on the car, and that's just going to take this build to another level. Take a look at that bad boy. Who doesn't like a little bit of nice, new, shiny carbon? It's got the air vent right there. It's going to look so aggressive, and it's super light. It is a track car, so let's go ahead, get this on the car, and I just want to see what it's going to look like. Come on.
So with the carbon fiber bonnet fitted, this thing is looking aggressive. I also went ahead and I fitted the front bumper. Take a look at this thing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.
Boys, take a look. She's actually coming together. It's looking amazing, but I'm silly. I went ahead and I just done a test fit. If you saw the gaps, for all you gap warriors, I was still, look, it's all loose. I still need to line it all up. However, it's missing the air intake. And then I went to fit it, check this out. It's got this MST upgraded intake, but this is the turbo inlet and it's broken and I totally forgot. Now, fun fact, boys, this is the replacement. Let me show you. Turbo inlet pipe directly from BMW. I bought this brand new from BMW here on the South Coast for 90 quid all in, including VAT. The cheapest one I saw on eBay used for the same part for 132. That was the cheapest. So sometimes it's worth giving the dealership a call. You never know, it might just be cheaper. And obviously we're getting a brand new part, so we don't have to worry about this failing in the near future. Final kind of assembly right now. We're almost at the finish line, and then I'll be calling up the owner, telling them to come and get your car out of here, man. Can't wait. I want this car gone. I've got other projects to move on with. Stay tuned for them.
So replacing this turbo inlet pipe would have been so much easier with the front slam panel removed. However, like I said, I forgot. Look how cramped it is. I need to get that nut out of there and get a new one in there, and it's really, really tight.
Oh, boys, this is so frustrating, man. Like, I know we all like a bit of tightness sometimes, but this is just too tight. For the M55 boys, there must be an easier way for upgrading that pipe. Finally, oh my gosh, look. That's how I've had to turn that nut with my 2 little tippy tips. Anyway, should be able to get the broken one out now. Finally.
So I've finally got a new turbo inlet pipe fitted. I was able to install the MST intake, get everything plumbed in with that side of things before draining all the water that I had to the cooling system previously and replacing it with BMW coolant. I'll be using my new launch diagnostic scanner later on in this video to run a coolant bleeding function, which will get all the air out of the system. It's very interesting, so stay tuned for that. Now I wanted to buckle up the bumper, but I was missing these little side clips, so I've ordered them. They'll be here tomorrow, so in the time being, we need to do a gearbox service. If you remember, we lost tons of oil, and I just don't know how much oil is in there, or the quality of the oil, so we're doing a full gearbox service.
Alrighty boys, so the new oil pan has been fitted onto this ZF gearbox. If you don't know, the new filter is built into the actual oil pan, so when you buy a service kit, you need to change all of it. But now's the time where I get to use my toys. I used to do this job without this tool, and trust me, it used to be hard, but now this should make light work of it. Oh my God, I've got a new bolt for this hole as well that came with the kit, so I'll replace that with a new washer. And this just goes in, have a look at this. So you need to fill this up first, start the car, that's gonna suck it all up into the transmission, and then you just keep doing it until it starts to trip. I'll get that done, stick you on a time lapse, let's go. So this is my pneumatic oil filling tool using compressed air. It creates pressure within the bottle, you turn the lever and it pumps the oil directly into the filling hole. Next, I'm using the launch diagnostic tool. If you go into special functions on these BMWs, there's a function called bleed the coolant system, and you can literally hear all the air coming out. That takes around 12 minutes to complete, and then I'm gonna run a full health report and clear any remaining fault codes from the accident. This diagnostic tool from Launch can also do coding, you're always asking, so click the link down below and grab yourself one by using the discount code. So when my subscriber dropped this car to the Salvage Nation garage, I could tell he was gutted. Just look at his baby. But after weeks of work, this thing looks amazing, it sounds amazing, and we're nearly there. We're almost at the finish line. I'm taking it out for our first test drive before sorting out the airbags. And this thing is performing. It is definitely performing. Boys, I think the first test drive on this M235i went really smoothly. The car, she is spicy. However, using the Launch, don't forget there's a link down below and the discount code if you want one of these. But using this little bad boy, I've just done another health check because I want to know why the airbag light is on. And I've got codes for the driver side airbag, passenger side airbag, seat belt pretensioner on the driver side, the head airbag, which is the curtain airbag, and the safety battery terminal. Well, check this out. All the components are just listed, are here, they've been delivered, but it's been a long day, so I'm going home and we'll sort the airbags in the morning. Now I know changing airbags can be daunting, just remember to remove the battery. You don't want any power going to the car when you're changing airbags. I went ahead and I removed the steering wheel because on this particular model you need to take the steering wheel and the stalks off in order for the dash to slide over the steering column. You also need to loosen up the center console as that locks the dash in place, and that's the blown dash and airbags removed, and this is what we're left with. Now I can fit a new dash and all replacement airbags. So we have finally completed the rebuild process on this lovely, crazy, spec'd out 500 brake horsepower BMW M235i. I went ahead and I rebuilt the front end. We changed one wing panel, we sorted the damaged suspension, replaced a ton of pipes and hoses. We added a carbon fiber bonnet and a new set of alloys.
And now this thing looks and sounds an absolute beast.
So guys, there you have it. We have converted what once was a wrecked BMW M235i into something that actually looks and sounds really cool. Let me know what you think of the entire video. If you've liked this video, press the like button. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, like 75% of you who watch my content and you're not subscribed, press the subscribe button. And the only thing that's left to do is hop in, head back to the unit. I'm gonna meet the owner. I'm gonna hand it over to him. If we end the video here, then he doesn't want to be on camera. If you see it, then obviously he's on camera. But this is where we're gonna head off. So like I always say, keep it moving, and I'll see you in the next one. Bang.